Most Subaru owners think their car is reliable until it quietly turns into a $5,000 problem they never saw coming. If you're a Subaru person, you bought this car for a reason. The reliability, the symmetrical all-wheel drive, the adventure. You bought it for snowy back roads and muddy trails and long road trips that other cars couldn't handle. You didn't buy it to sit in a dealership repair bay waiting on a back-ordered engine block. In this video, I'm going to show you 12 mistakes that slowly destroy Subarus, even when you think you're maintaining them properly, and exactly how to avoid them so your car actually lasts past 200,000, even 300,000 miles. And listen closely, because there's one mistake in here that causes most major engine failures, and it's not the one people expect. I'll break that down in a second. And real quick, if you've been watching these, I appreciate you. If you're new here, we break down how to actually keep your Subaru running long-term without wasting money on the wrong stuff. Because most people think, I take care of my car, I change the oil, I'm good. You're not neglecting it. You're not abusing it. You're doing exactly what you think is right based on what the manual tells you. And that's exactly why this catches so many owners completely off guard. Because Subaru problems usually don't start with something obvious. They don't start with a loud bang or a sudden cloud of smoke. They start with small, invisible things stacking up over time. Let me show you exactly how this happens, because it's not what most Subaru owners expect. Let's start with the most common one: waiting too long between oil changes. A lot of Subaru owners go 6,000 miles, sometimes even 7,500 miles between changes. And to be fair, that's exactly what the owner's manual says you can do. But here's what actually happens in real-world driving. Short trips, stop-and-go traffic, cold morning starts in a freezing garage. That's where oil breaks down exponentially faster than expected. Subaru engines, specifically the boxer engines, sit horizontally in the engine bay. They hold and distribute heat differently than a standard upright inline engine. The oil has to work harder to circulate properly, especially on cold starts when the engine is still warming up. So even if the mileage on your dash looks fine, internally your oil has already sheared down. It isn't protecting those vital bearings and cylinder walls the way you think it is anymore. Now here's the part most people don't realize. Nothing feels wrong at first. The car still drives perfectly fine. No warning lights, no dramatic failure. But slowly, microscopically, that wear starts building on the bearings and cylinder walls. And by the time you actually notice it, by the time you hear that faint ticking on startup, it's already done permanent damage. What to do instead? Change your oil closer to 3,500 to 4,000 miles. That one single adjustment alone can dramatically extend the life of your engine. Now this one is arguably even worse, because it's not about having bad oil. It's about running low on oil without even realizing it. A lot of people assume, I just changed it 3 months ago, I'm good. But Subarus, especially certain generations of the EJ and FA engine families, can burn oil gradually. It's a known characteristic of the Boxer design. Not enough for you to notice day to day, but absolutely enough to matter over a few thousand miles. So let's say you go a few weeks, maybe a couple thousand miles into your interval. That oil level starts dropping. You're down half a quart, then a full quart, and now your engine is running hotter, with significantly less lubrication than it needs to survive. This is where things quietly start going wrong. Not instantly, but over time the friction increases, the heat spikes, and the wear accelerates. Real-world example. I've seen cars come in with no visible leaks, no smoke, out the tailpipe, no obvious issues, just slightly low oil over a long period of time. And that alone led to premature internal engine wear that eventually required a rebuild. What to do? Check your oil every couple of weeks. It takes exactly 1 minute at the gas station. It is one of the highest return on investment habits you can have as a Subaru owner. Now here's where people really mess this up. Lifetime transmission fluid. Sounds great, right? The dealership tells you there's no maintenance required, no flushing needed, just drive it and don't think about it. But what they don't tell you is this: fluid doesn't magically last forever. So hey, the laws of physics still apply. Heat breaks it down. The constant friction from the metal belt inside the CVT breaks it down. Time itself breaks it down, and once that fluid loses its viscosity and its ability to protect the delicate internal components of the transmission, that's when the problems start. You'll feel a slight hesitation when you step on the gas, then slipping, then a delayed response when shifting from reverse to drive, and eventually, total failure. And when a Subaru CVT fails, you're looking at a $4,000 to $6,000 replacement bill, all because of lifetime fluid. What to do? Ignore the lifetime claim. Drain and refill that CVT fluid every 30,000 to 40,000 miles. That's how you avoid becoming one of those "my transmission just died out of nowhere" stories on the forums. And by the way, speaking of things the dealership won't tell you to replace, there's a tiny $20 plastic part under your hood that, if ignored, will literally blow the seals out of your engine and cause massive oil consumption. I'm going to show you exactly what that is in a few minutes. This one seems harmless, until it suddenly isn't. You walk out to your garage. You see a little drop of oil on the driveway. Maybe you smell a faint burning scent when you park. And you think, it's an older car, it sweats a little, I'll deal with it later. But here's what actually happens in a Subaru. That leak gets worse, but it does it slowly. Your oil level drops slowly. But more importantly, a leak works both ways. If oil can get out, air and moisture can get in. Contaminants build up faster, so now your engine is dealing with a double threat: less lubrication and dirtier oil. This is where things start stacking. It's never just one problem, it's a domino effect. The valve cover gaskets start weeping. Then the spark plug tube seals leak, filling your spark plug wells with oil, causing misfires. Then you're chasing multiple problems at once, and the repair bill grows with every week you wait. What to do? Fix leaks early. Don't wait for a puddle. It is always cheaper to replace a gasket early than to replace an oil-starved engine later. If your daily driving is mostly short trips, a 5-minute commute, dropping the kids at school, a quick run to the grocery store, this matters a lot more than people think. Because your engine never fully warms up to its optimal operating temperature. And when it doesn't fully warm up, it doesn't burn off the natural condensation and fuel blow-by that accumulates inside the crankcase. That moisture and unburnt fuel stays trapped in your oil. Over time, they mix together and turn into a thick, abrasive sludge. And sludge is one of the absolute fastest ways to choke the life out of an engine, block oil passages, and cause catastrophic failure. Real-world scenario: daily 5 to 10-minute drives with no long highway trips on the weekends. That's one of the most common driving patterns behind engines that die way before their time. The car looks pristine on the outside, but the engine is suffocating on the inside. What to do? Take one longer drive a week. Get it on the highway for 15 to 20 minutes. Let the engine and the oil fully warm up and burn off those contaminants. Quick pause for a second. If you avoid even just the first 5 mistakes we've covered, you're already ahead of 80% of Subaru owners out there. But the next few? This is where the really expensive mistakes hide. Most people only think about their engine coolant when they see a temperature gauge spiking into the red or steam billowing from under the hood. But by then, the war is already lost. Coolant doesn't just cool the engine, it prevents corrosion, but it breaks down over time. It loses its anti-corrosive properties and actually becomes highly acidic. And in a Subaru Boxer engine, where the head gaskets are constantly surrounded by coolant, acidic fluid is a death sentence. It literally eats away at the head gasket material from the inside out. You won't see it happening. You won't feel it happening until one day, coolant starts mixing with your oil. Your engine starts running hot, and you're stranded on the side of the road. Here's the dirty secret about Subaru head gaskets. It's not a design flaw, it's a maintenance flaw. The engines that blow head gaskets are almost always the ones running degraded, acidic coolant for too long. And head gasket repairs? They require pulling the entire engine out of the car. You are looking at thousands of dollars in labor alone. What to do? Flush your coolant every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Don't just top it off. Flush the old, acidic fluid completely out. Use the correct Subaru super coolant. Stay ahead of it. This one never feels urgent. That's exactly why people ignore it. The car still starts, it still runs, it's fine. But because the Subaru Boxer engine sits horizontally, the spark plugs are wedged tight against the frame rails. They are notoriously annoying to access, so owners skip them. Even some mechanics skip them, but worn spark plugs drastically affect how your engine burns fuel. Poor combustion leads to severe carbon buildup on your intake valves. It leads to reduced fuel efficiency. And worst of all, a misfiring cylinder can wash the lubricating oil right off the cylinder walls, causing metal-on-metal scoring. Unburnt fuel then dumps into your exhaust, eventually melting your catalytic converter. That's another $1,000 to $2,000 expense, all from a $40 set of spark plugs. Most people never notice this part until the check engine light is flashing and the car is shaking at a stoplight. What to do? Bite the bullet and replace them around 60,000 miles. It's a pain to access, but it protects the entire combustion cycle and saves you from a cascade of downstream problems. You bought a Subaru for the symmetrical all-wheel drive, right? That legendary grip in the snow and rain. Your entire AWD system depends heavily on your differentials. And yet, most people don't think about differential fluid at all. As the gears inside your differential mesh together, they naturally shave off microscopic metal particles over time. That metal floats around in the fluid. Once that fluid gets dirty enough, it turns into liquid sandpaper. It stops protecting the gears and starts actively destroying them. That's when the wear starts. You'll hear a whining noise from the rear of the car at highway speeds. You might feel binding or clunking when making tight turns in a parking lot. And eventually, the differential fails entirely. What to do? Change your front and rear differential fluid every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. The fluid is cheap, the job is straightforward, and it guarantees your AWD system actually works when you need it most, in the conditions you bought the car for. This is one of the biggest mistakes on this entire list, and it ties everything we've talked about together. Your car almost always gives you early warning signs before a catastrophic failure. Something feels just slightly off. A sound changes. A new tick on cold starts. A subtle whine at highway speeds. The way the transmission engages feels a little lazier than it did a year ago. The car pulls slightly to one side. The idle is rougher on cold mornings. But because it's not a big problem yet, because the car still gets you to work, people ignore it. They turn the radio up. And that exact moment, that window of time, is when things are still cheap to fix. A $150 sensor, a $200 seal, a $50 fluid flush. Once the problem becomes obvious, once the check engine light is on, or the car goes into limp mode, or you hear a grinding noise that wasn't there yesterday, now it's expensive. Now you're replacing major assemblies instead of a single worn component. Remember that mistake I mentioned at the very beginning of the video? The one that causes most major engine failures. And it's not the one people expect? This is it. Ignoring the early signals. A blown engine is rarely a surprise to the car. It's only a surprise to the driver who ignored 6 months of warning signs. What to do? Trust your gut. You drive this car every single day. You know what it sounds like, what it feels like. If something changes, get it looked at immediately. That instinct is worth more than any diagnostic tool. Trying to save money on maintenance usually backfires spectacularly on Subarus. I see people buying the absolute cheapest oil filters, the cheapest sensors, the cheapest gaskets they can find on discount sites. But they don't perform the same. Here's a specific example. Subaru OEM oil filters have a very specific bypass valve pressure rating, designed exclusively for the higher oil pressure demands of a boxer engine. If you use a cheap aftermarket filter with the wrong bypass pressure, that valve opens too early. Your engine gets starved of oil during cold starts and high RPM driving. You save $5 on a filter, but you shave 50,000 miles off the life of your engine. The same logic applies to gaskets, oxygen sensors, and coolant. Cheap materials fail faster, seal worse, and cause the exact problems you were trying to prevent. What to do? Stick with quality OEM or OEM equivalent parts, especially for oil filters, gaskets, and sensors. It is the cheapest insurance you can buy for a car that can last 300,000 miles. Most people don't even know what this is. Remember that $20 plastic part I mentioned earlier? The one that can blow the seals out of your engine and cause massive oil consumption? This is it. The PCV valve, positive crankcase ventilation. It's a tiny valve that controls the pressure that builds up inside the engine crankcase as a normal byproduct of combustion. It's a critical part of your engine's breathing system. When this little valve gets clogged with carbon buildup and fails, which it will because it's plastic and it lives in a hot, oily environment, that pressure has nowhere to go. So it builds and builds until it literally forces oil past your piston rings or blows out your main crankshaft seals. Oil goes where it absolutely shouldn't. Your car suddenly starts consuming massive amounts of oil, running rough, and leaking from every seal on the engine, all because of a piece of plastic the size of your thumb that costs less than a fast food meal. Here's what makes this one so dangerous. The symptoms look exactly like a much more expensive problem. Mechanics who don't know Subarus well will start replacing seals and gaskets without ever checking the PCV valve first. You can spend thousands chasing a symptom without fixing the root cause. What to do? Replace the PCV valve, or at minimum, inspect and clean it. Every 60,000 miles, it costs less than a tank of gas and takes 10 minutes to swap out. It is the single cheapest preventative maintenance item on this entire list. This is the root of everything, the overarching theme of this entire video. People buy a Subaru and treat it like a standard economy car. They treat it like an appliance, something you put gas in, drive until the oil light comes on, and replace when it breaks. They're not bad cars. In fact, they are incredible, highly capable machines. The Boxer engine layout, the symmetrical AWD, the low center of gravity, these are engineering choices that make Subarus genuinely special. But those same engineering choices make them less forgiving of neglect. The tight tolerances in a Boxer engine mean oil quality matters more. The complex AWD system means fluid maintenance matters more. The head gasket design means coolant chemistry matters more. Small amounts of neglect add up significantly faster in a Subaru than they do in a simple conventional engine. That's not a flaw. That's the trade-off for getting a car that can do everything a Subaru can do. The owners who get 300,000 miles out of these cars aren't lucky. They're intentional. What to do? Be proactive, not reactive. Treat your Subaru like the performance machine it actually is, not like a generic appliance. The maintenance schedule exists for a reason. Follow it, and then go slightly beyond it. Here's the truth about Subarus. They can last a really long time. If you look around, you'll see people hitting 250,000, even 300,000 miles on original engines and transmissions. There are Outbacks and Foresters and Legacies out there with more miles on them than most people will ever drive in their lifetime. But when they don't hit those numbers, when you see the horror stories on the forums, the blown head gaskets, the dead CVTs, the engines that gave up at 90,000 miles, it's almost always the exact same story. Small things, ignored for too long. A $20 PCV valve, a slight oil leak that wasn't that bad, coolant that hadn't been flushed in 80,000 miles, differential fluid that had never been changed, spark plugs that were 2 years overdue. The people who get the absolute most out of these cars, the ones who drive them for decades and put 250,000 miles on them, they're not mechanics. They're not doing anything crazy. They're not spending thousands on preventative rebuilds. They're just paying attention earlier than everyone else. So if you take anything away from this video, let it be this: don't wait for problems to become obvious, because by the time they are obvious, they are expensive. But if you stay ahead of the maintenance, if you check your oil, change your fluids on schedule, listen to what the car is telling you, and fix small things before they become big things, your Subaru isn't a liability. It's a promise of adventure, and it will last a lot longer than you ever thought possible. If you found this useful and you want to keep your Subaru running forever, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.